Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about why niche saturation doesn't exist. So niche saturation is not a limit. It's a challenge to find a better way to stand out. The real opportunity lies in innovation, not imitation. I speak to many GoHighLevel business owners who think their niche is saturated. Well, this is a misconception. The truth is niches do not saturate. The offers and marketing strategies do. Let me explain. As long as your market has a problem that needs solving, there will always be a demand for a solution. What gets saturated is the approach. It's the copy, it's the messaging, it's the strategies, it is the offer, guys. When everyone uses the same ad copy, the same cold emails, and the same strategies, it gets lost in the noise. And this is where GoHighLevel comes in as a great tool, right? It's a tool. It's a great tool, but it is a tool, right? Fundamentally, everyone has the same access to the follow-ups, the SMS templates, the CRM, the AI-powered employee tools, right? They all have it. But what differentiates you is you. And it's strange. Like, some people seem to be super successful with it and some aren't. Why is that? So this is what typically happens when we all offer the same thing. Imagine you're on a crowded train during rush hour at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning. You're surrounded by a sea of identical commuters. They all have the same look, the same schedule, and they're all heading to the same destination. It's difficult to distinguish one person from the next because they all look the same. Look at them. Now think of this as a GoHighLevel business in your niche. They're all using the same offers, the same funnels, the same messaging, the same script. Everyone is trying to use the same approach, and as a result, they look the same, like all these identical commuters on that train. It doesn't matter how they deliver their service because no one's listening to them. Their core messages and their strategy are the same. As more people enter the niche and copy what others are doing, the agencies and the businesses that use GoHighLevel begin to merge into one. What we end up with is a bunch of replicas, each with the same tired approach. The more businesses that flood the niche, the more blended they become. Now, here's sort of where the magic happens, because the more crowded the market gets, the more sort of opportunity you get to stand out by simply being different. Now, you see, as the number of businesses within a particular niche increases, the chance for differentiation shrinks unless you take a proactive stance. Instead of blending into the crowd, you have to carve out a niche for yourself that sets you apart in a way that makes clients take notice. Differentiation is what allows you to rise above the noise and not just survive, but thrive in a saturated market. So let me take this example of interest-specific and interspecific competition. In nature, there are two types of competition that exists, intra and inter. As you can see, intra is typically between the same species, as opposed to interspecific, which is different species competing for similar resources. Now, how this relates is, again, so intraspecific competition, same species compete for the same resources. In businesses, this is where different companies within the same niche offering similar products or services fight for the same clients, leads, and visibility. On the other hand, this interspecific occurs between different species that may be competing for the same or similar resources, but from different angles. In business, this is more like when companies from different industries or niches fight for attention in a broader market. Now, typically in the world of GoHighLevel businesses, intraspecific competition is the most common. Why? Because businesses within the same niche often use the same strategies, the same offers, and the same approaches. The end result? They're all competing for the same limited prospects, often offering the same solution. When too many businesses flood the same niche with the same approach, the market becomes diluted, leading to a lack of differentiation and value. Stagnation occurs, and it's hard to stand out when everyone says the same thing in the same way. Now, specifically, what are the dangers in stagnation in business? So, in biology, stagnation refers to a state of little or no growth or change within a population of ecosystems. It happens when an environment becomes static. There is no forward momentum, no adaptation, no innovation. And stagnation can occur for a variety of reasons, such as resource depletion, overcrowding, or the inability to adapt to new conditions. The result, a decline in viability and survival. It's essential to the opposite of evolution. It's essentially the opposite of evolution, a state of stasis where nothing improves, grows, or changes. Now, let's apply this to business. When companies fail to innovate and differentiate or evolve, they experience a similar form of stagnation. They become stuck, using the same strategies, offers, and tactics, creating a market complacency. In a business context, the stagnation leads to oversaturation, failure to adapt, and eventually loss of competitive edge. And we refer this to, you can see this in something called eutrophication, which is essentially a biological phenomenon that mirrors the stagnation in business. Eutrophication occurs when bodies of water, like ponds, receive an overload of nutrients, often from fertilizers, runoff, or pollution. These nutrients fuel excessive plant and algae growth, leading to what looks like an abundance of life. However, this overgrowth has catastrophic consequences. Oxygen depletion, blocking sunlight because of the thick algae, and the toxicity. Right? Just like ponds suffocating under excess nutrients, businesses can drown in their own oversaturation, failing to innovate and differentiate. The market, once rich with opportunities, become oversaturated with businesses using the same tired strategies, leading to scarcity, diminished customer attention, and ultimately a lack of growth. So this is a clear image of irrigation and how it relates to business. And in fact, how this specifically mirrors the biological stagnation is because of its lack of innovation, right? So species that don't evolve or adapt to a new environment risk extinction, right? If a company sticks to an outdated strategy without evolving, it risks becoming irrelevant. Businesses that don't adapt to changing market conditions or customers needs quickly lose their edge and eventually fail. Overcrowding and resource depletion. When too many organisms of the same species compete for the same resources, this leads to overpopulation and resource depletion. In a saturated market, for businesses within the same niche compete for the same leads, clients, and visibility. This leads to oversaturation and diluted marketing efforts. When everyone is using the same or similar sales funnel strategies, messaging, differentiation becomes impossible, and resources, specifically leads, clients, and attention, become scarce, and businesses struggle to stand out. Failure to adapt. So species that fail to adapt to changes in the environment, like climate change or new predators or diseases, are at risk of extinction. Adaptation is essential for survival. For businesses, if they don't adapt to shifting market conditions or technological advancements, like automations or AI within GoHighLevel, those who rely on outdated methods or fail to innovate become vulnerable to disruption. And then last but not least, genetic variation versus market differentiation. Genetic variation allows species to adapt to changing environments. A population with diverse traits is more likely to survive when external conditions change. What I mean by this in a business sense is if market differentiation allows companies to stand out, if every business in your niche offers the same product, which we do, GoHighLevel, service, which we kind of do as well, and messaging, they risk blending in. Just as genetic diversity ensures the survival of species, differentiation ensures that your businesses can weather market challenges. Why stagnation can be dangerous for GoHighLevel businesses, right? And it probably is. It really is. If your GoHighLevel business doesn't differentiate itself, it risks stagnation. You'll blend in, your clients and leads will dry up, right? And you'll get stuck in old methods. You're kind of getting my point here, guys. Like it's truly, it's so risky to be the same as everyone else, right? I've mentioned a couple of times, we've got stagnation, we've got intra and inter-specific competition, we've got eutrophication. We also have another concept called monoculture farming, whereby it's another, I like to take what happens in nature, and I feel like nature reflects a lot on what we do on a day-to-day in terms of business sense, and this biological concept helps illustrate the dangers of stagnation in both nature and business, right? So monoculture farming is a risky business model. Think of this. Just as species that fails to evolve become vulnerable to extinction, businesses that rely on a single strategy or identical offers without differentiation becomes vulnerable to competition and changing market conditions. This is where monoculture farming comes in as a perfect parallel. In monoculture farming, a single crop is planted over and over again in the same soil. While this method might seem efficient at first, it comes with dangerous flaws. The land becomes depleted, right? Over time, pests and diseases that target that single crop grow more prevalent, and the risk of crop failure increases. This phenomenon is exacerbated because there is no diversity in the ecosystem, meaning the land and the crops aren't equipped to handle external stresses. In business, monoculture marketing is just as risky. When every business in a niche uses the same strategies, funnels, messaging, the market becomes overrun and vulnerable to burnout. Your business risks getting lost in the noise and eventually failing to stand out, just like monoculture farming, just like the things that I mentioned before. This is just, I'm emphasizing this point with multiple different stories and, biological case studies, essentially. The more vulnerable the entire market becomes to outside challenges like competitor differentiation, changing customer expectations, or shifting market conditions. A real-world example of this is the kind of vulnerability can be seen in the 1845 Irish potato famine. Right? During this time, Irish farmers relied on a single type of potato crop for their sustenance. When a disease known as the late blight struck, it wiped out the entire crop, leading to a devastating famine. And the problem? Monoculture farming. Farming has placed the farmers placed all their bets on a single crop without any diversification, and when that crop failed, the entire system collapsed. This is just a horrible image of what it looked like back then. And if we were to take anything away from this history lesson, especially for our businesses, is to not rely on a single approach or not rely on a single offer in the market without differentiation, because it's dangerous. In a saturated market, you increase your vulnerability to competition when you rely on the same strategies as everyone else. If you don't adapt and diversify and evolve, you risk facing the same fate as the Irish potato crops, vulnerable to external factors that can't control and prone to failure when those factors change. Now, we talked a lot about why you need to be different. How? Well, now let's compare that to businesses that diversify, right? Instead of planting the same crop year after year, they try different varieties, experiment with new methods, and position themselves uniquely in the market. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. This applies to everything from offers, funnels, and messaging to how you engage with leads and position yourself within the niche, right? When businesses stand out as unique, it becomes less vulnerable to the same pressures that other companies face. Diversification in your business approach allows you to weather storms, adapt to change, and keep clients engaged while others struggle to keep up. How do we stand out? Here's the truth. Standing out isn't about doing more of what everyone else is doing. It's about doing something different and doing it in a way that feels authentic and compelling, right? Let's break it down on how you can become a standout in a sea of competitors, specifically with GoHighLevel. I like to call this specifically the highly mascot strategy, because a highly mascot, which is the GoHighLevel mascot, is basically someone that stands out, not because they're shouting louder, but because they're doing something different. They tweak their approach just enough to make a memorable impact. They show personality, whether that's in an email, cold call, or sales pitch. So how can you start becoming a highly mascot? Here we go. I'm going to list 5 things. You make small tweaks to your approach, right? Great marketing isn't about copying, it's about customizing. Feel free to copy. Just make it personalized to you. Take a common cold call script and tweak it to make it sound more personal, more human. For instance, here's a standard script, right? Like, hey, I'm calling because we offer a service that can help your business grow. Do you have a few minutes to talk? That's boring. It's not that engaging. What if we tried this? All right, I'm going to be real with you. I'm cold calling, and I know you probably want to hang up. But if you give me just 30 seconds, I'll show you why what I might have might be worth your time. Is that something you're interested in? Why this works, or why this might be a bit different, is because you've acknowledged the elephant in the room. It's a cold call, right? But you've also added humor and personality, which instantly makes you more relatable. People want to do business with people they like, and humor can break the ice faster than any script. Reframing your offer to be more relatable. Here's one I hear a lot, right? We've all seen these old offers. We'll help you generate leads. We'll automate your marketing. We'll add AI, Yawn. In a crowded market, these generic offers, right? They don't make anyone set up. They're not. They're not too interesting, right? Instead of saying we provide GoHighLevel CRM setup and automation, right? Instead of that, you could say, I'll help you get rid of those tedious tasks that eat up your day. Imagine having your CRM do 80% of your work whilst you focus on growing your business. You're offering a solution to their problems, not just the what of the product. People don't want software. They want more time, freedom, and results. Personalization. All right. Most people you reach out to have probably seen dozens of cold emails and outreach attempts. The secret to cutting through the noise? Personalization. Instead of sending a mass cookie cutter email, right, make sure you reference specific things about the prospect's business. This instantly builds rapport, and you're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Right? Instead of saying, hi, we specialize in lead generation for your business, you could say, hi, I noticed that your specific product, right, has been getting a lot of attention in the industry based on a certain article you wrote on LinkedIn. If you're just like most businesses, right, in your space, you're probably juggling leads but struggling to automate the follow-up. Let's chat about how we can help you streamline that process. See how much more relevant and engaging this second one sounds? It's like it shows that you've taken the time to research them, and that effort pays off in trust. And last but not least, we actually had 4 things, not 5. You want to tell a story and make it your own. People connect with stories, right? More than you do with dry facts. So instead of just talking about the features of GoHighLevel, tell a story of how it actually helps someone. Instead of saying our automation systems has helped hundreds of business owners increase their leads by 30%, like how boring is that? Say this, right? What would Hailey the mascot do? Last week, one of our clients came to us with a problem. Their leads weren't converting. After setting up just one GoHighLevel workflow, they started seeing 30% more conversions in just 1 week. And it's crazy how automating simple follow-ups can lead to massive results. Now you've got a story that shows proof, and this is what makes it more impactful, right? Why this works. Authenticity and personality rule it all. Being a Hailey mascot isn't just about flashy tactics or gimmicks. It's about showing up as your true self and connecting with prospects in a way that feels real and authentic. By adding personality to your outreach, right? You get to break free from the noise. And instead of blending in with hundreds of other agencies and businesses that use GoHighLevel, you become one of the people they remember, right? And just going into a little bit more about that specifically for us, right? Our strategy is the complete 180. What I mean by that is this has sort of fueled our growth of our business with the GoHighLevel University. I call it the complete 180 strategy. It's all about doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing in the market. When everyone zigs, you zag. When the market goes left, you go right. And this mindset has been a game changer for me, right? Instead of timid guarantees, right, we offer bold ones. The market was full of timid guarantees. There wasn't not even many guarantees, to be honest. It's like, we'll try our best, or satisfaction guarantees. I actually guarantee onboarding, support, clients. I put my reputation on the line with rock solid commitments. But here's the catch. You can only do this if you have an absolute killer product. Everyone focused on ads. I went all in on YouTube. The market was fixated on ads. So I flipped the script and focused on YouTube. I went for long form content that builds trust over time rather than typical, quick hit ad strategies everyone else was using. The results, my audience started coming to me rather than me chasing them. And number 3, the market focused on marketing. I focused on my product. While everyone was hyper-focused on marketing tactics, ads, funnels, clickbait, I shifted my attention to perfecting my product. I knew that if I delivered exceptional value, my clients would market for me. And they did. And the product became the marketing. What's powerful about this strategy is that it allows you to become a blue fish in a sea of red. You don't need to find a blue ocean niche with no competition, because you can create your own blue ocean by focusing on positioning instead. In a crowded market, if you're offering something completely different, you're standing out. And imagine it like this. Instead of trying to find a blue ocean, a niche no one else is in, you're creating your own blue ocean positioning within a red market. The key is your positioning, not necessarily the niche. When you position yourself differently and take the opposite approach, you'll cut through the noise even in a saturated space. And I read loads of books. I hear a load of mentors talk about blue ocean strategies. And when they talk about this, it's actually a little bit dangerous, right? Those with no competition, like niches with no competition, they make them sound like it's the holy grail of business, right? You might think no competition, that is the dream. But here's the reality. Blue ocean niches are often untested, unsustainable, and incredibly risky. And here's why. This is known in biology as the pioneering species. They're typically the first organism to colonize a new uninhabited environment. And these species are hardy and can survive in conditions where others can't. However, the survival rate is often low, I believe between 10 to 20%. The reason is simple. The environment that they're moving into, 5 to 10%, there you go, is unfamiliar and unpredictable, and there's no established ecosystems to support them. For example, a common statistic, right, in ecological succession is that only 5 to 10% of them survive long-term in new environments. These first arrivals are often vulnerable to extreme conditions and lack of resources and competition from other species that eventually follow. In business, the same principles apply. When you're the first to venture into an untested niche, there is no guarantee that you'll succeed, and your chances of failure are significantly higher. So if you're the first quote-unquote fish to swim into a pond where no other fish is alive, there's a reason for that. is untested and unproven. And in fact, most of the first species that attempt to colonize a new habitat don't survive because there's no existing infrastructure or support systems. They're essentially swimming in the dark. So, even more, just a little bit more emphasis on this. Why blue ocean niches aren't always the golden ticket. Sorry guys, I got a cough. In businesses, a blue ocean niche seems appealing because of the lack of competition. But without any market validation or proven strategies, it becomes a high-risk gamble. You don't have the resources, data, or experience to navigate these unknown waters safely, and the survival rate in these uncharted waters is much lower than you think. Instead of chasing unproven niches, consider positioning yourself strategically in the middle. We call this the purple ocean, where competition exists, but it's not overcrowded. And the rule here is the rules and opportunities are already established. This way, you're not the first to swim in, and you're not swimming in a market with proven success with little competition. And that's where the real growth lies. Now, in addition to that, you also don't want to fall for a couple of tricks that tend to plague a lot of GoHighLevel business owners. The migration trap, to begin with. Choosing the right niche for your GoHighLevel business is arguably the most pivotal decision you'll make. Full stop. Choose wisely, and you open the door to steady growth, loyal clients, and scalable success. Choose poorly, and you're setting yourself up for frustration, wasted resources, and a lot of missed opportunities. But here's the catch. Not all niches are equally created. When selecting a niche, it's easy to get distracted by trends, advice from gurus, or the allure of quick success. And the truth is, niche selection is like finding the right ecosystem to grow your business. It needs the right balance of resources and competition and opportunity. So let's break down the two biggest mistakes most people make. You can see we've got a crowded niche, and then we also have a niche with one person in it saying it's super easy. We call this herding with the bisons. We've all heard the advice, follow the trends, pick the hottest niche, and success will follow. But here's the problem with that approach. Once a niche gets overly popular, the market oversaturates. Just like a herd of bisons rushing into the same patch of grass, businesses flood the same space, scrambling for attention. And in the wild, bisons are a perfect example of this behavior. When the herd comes together, they consume all of the resources in sight. At first, the grass seems abundant. The animals thrive, feeding and growing strong. But before long, the resources start to dwindle. And what happens? Well, the bisons have to keep moving, migrating from one grassland to the next, always on the hunt for fresh resources. And the same happens in business too. Too many business owners keep chasing the same customers, leading to diminishing returns, and the market gets crowded, and standing out becomes an uphill battle. Here's the key takeaway. Don't follow the herd. Seek out niches where GoHighLevel tools can truly shine, where you can offer innovative solutions and stand out in a less competitive space. The real opportunity lies in niches that still have demand but aren't overcrowded. And in GoHighLevel's case, this means finding businesses that could benefit from automated funnels, CRMs, AI, whatever, but aren't yet flooded with competition using the same tools. All right. Number 2, we also have another mistake. The island of isolation. Let's flip the coin. You might think that a good strategy is to pick a niche where there's little competition. And as I mentioned to you guys before, fewer competition means less fighting for attention. But here's the thing. In nature, when an environment has no predators or competition, it often means there's little demand to begin with. Think of it this way. A plant growing in a remote, isolated location, it's safe from harm, but it's also out of the way. Rarely getting the exposure it needs to grow, and without competition, there's no urgency, no pressing need to innovate or improve. You'll find yourself spending time educating the market from scratch, trying to convince people why they even need the service to begin with, instead of offering an established solution to an existing pain point. People won't even know, imagine trying to sell AI to someone who has never heard of or even understands what AI is. It is so painful. I've done it. Please don't. Not worth it. And in business, this is the solo-based niche mistake, selecting a niche that has little or no competition. And the danger? Without competition, there's no validation of the market, and the risk of spending the time and resources educating your prospects instead of meeting an existing demand is high. And yes, GoHighLevel can work in almost any niche, but a proven market, one that's established but not oversaturated, offers you a much better shot at quick traction. Now, some key pointers to truly, truly grow, and I call this the power of commitment, putting a ring on it, as Beyonce would say. The key to breaking the migration cycle is commitment, and it's about choosing a niche, sticking with it, and learning everything you can about it. Just like the best ecosystems in nature, where each species plays a role in maintaining balance, the most successful businesses thrive by creating stability. In the case of GoHighLevel, this means committing to a niche where you can leverage its powerful CRM, its funnels, its automated systems, specifically to that niche, solving a specific problem for them, whether you're in a crowded niche or one that's just emerging. HighLevel gives you those tools, just like it gives you those tools to help scale efficiently without feeling the constant pressure to jump from one market to another. Commitment isn't about sticking to the status quo. It's about adaptation and evolution. And by staying in your niche and understanding it deeply, you can optimize HighLevel's tools to serve your clients better and differentiate yourself from the competition. We call it evolving, not migrating. Instead of bouncing between niches, like the migrating bisons, evolve your strategy within the niche you've chosen, whether you're in a competitive space or a less saturated one. Find ways to innovate and differentiate your approach with GoHighLevel tools. Diversify your approach and automate tasks and optimize your customer journey. By staying grounded and focusing on a single niche, you allow your business to become a thriving ecosystem, one that attracts leads, builds lasting relationships, and sustains growth long term. You'll have a steady flow of resources, constantly evolving and adapting to meet your customers' needs. And we call this the 10K per month commitment, right? And here's the hard truth, guys. Commit to your niche, whatever niche that you choose, until you hit $10,000 a month, right? It took me a year, personally, to hit 10K per month. But I did it. And yes, it was tough, and it's going to be tough. There will be challenges. But if you constantly jump from one niche to another, you'll never gain the depth of understanding needed to master it. Sticking it out is the key to success. So repeat after me. I will not switch niches before I get to $10,000 per month. Say it a couple times. I will not switch niches before I get to $10,000 per month. Each niche comes with its own set of problems and challenges. And by committing to solving those problems, you'll become the go-to expert in your field, and that's what will lead to success. The more you commit, the more you learn. Okay, so the longer you stay in the niche, the more you'll understand its nuances and pain points. With the deep understanding, you can use GoHighLevel's full capability to automate the processes, and the more you learn, the better you'll be at applying GoHighLevel to solve specific challenges of those niches, right? And let me give you a few examples of the best niches and the worst niches to go into. The best niches, guess what? It's the one that you stick with. The best niche for your GoHighLevel business is the one that you stay committed to long enough to truly master. And once you nailed it, you'll have a well-oiled system that can scale quickly and deliver incredible results for both you and your clients. And the worst one is the one that you don't commit to, one that you stick around, one that you're jumping from. You avoid the temptation, please avoid the temptation to chase trends or jump into overhyped niches because they seem hot, or the true path to success lies in sticking it out no matter the challenges. And over here, I've got a couple of ideas in terms of pretty successful GoHighLevel niches you could go into. Land clearing, yacht brokers, interior designs, Pilates, wellness treatments, retreats, painters. You know, these niches are prime because they require strong client relationship building and greatly benefit from GoHighLevel's abilities to automate and so forth. If you're new and you're struggling to find a niche, we've created a 4,000 GoHighLevel niche selector. So, you know, there'll be over 4,000 different niches that you can select from here to get yourself started with a specific niche. And yeah, guys, bad niches specifically for high-level businesses. This is ones, some that I won't recommend anyone do, to be honest. And e-commerce is okay, right? But high level is meant for more local small business owners. Dental is a tough one, right? Cold outreach is very tricky because you need to get through to you have to go past the receptionist, which is a tough one. Lawyers, very difficult. Overhyped niches, right? When a niche gets flooded, standing out becomes really hard. And then service-based niches, selling hours for dollars. So PTs, therapists, stuff like that is a little bit tricky. You typically want higher ticket products so that when you do help sell a product, they make back their investment quite quickly, like HVAC or roofers and so forth. So final thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. This is what I'd suggest you guys do. 3 steps. Pick a niche that plays to your GoHighLevel strengths, right? What you're good at. Commit to a niche and focus on solving its unique problems, and start building using GoHighLevel to get these clients, like specifically to solve their issue. By picking the right niche and committing long term, you'll be able to be on the fast track to success. So don't just follow the market, create your own path. Thanks for watching. My name's Ryan, founder of the Warwick University, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.